Today on Nebraska WoodSTR, it's the annual fire up of the wood boiler. Let's show you. Hey WoodSTRs, my name is Mike. Well, welcome back. Today is we're about 3 weeks into November here now, and we're gonna fire up the wood boiler for the first time. We're gonna start getting into some chillier weather. My heat pump and forced air furnace has been kicking on, and that's just costing me money. So we're gonna get that fired up. We did have, over the last couple of 8-9 years of burning season, we have, we probably saved somewhere between $200 and $300 a month just running that wood boiler. So heat the shop here and heat the house. So it's always kind of exciting starting it up for the year, but I would tell you after, usually is 6 months of burning, 5 months of burning this year, I'll be glad to shut it down again. So it means we're moving into spring and we moving back to warmer temperatures. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and get this fired up today. I'll kind of go through my whole process and how my whole program works here. So hope you enjoy that. We'll get a little fire started here and pull open the back end of that thing, show you a little bit what's going on back there, and then we'll kind of show you the whole system. So, all right, here we go. Let's get her fired up. Well, looks pretty good. Don't have any mouse nests or anything like that crazy in there. So we're gonna let that water heat up, and then we will fire on the fan and also the pumps here and make sure we don't have any leaks. All right, here we go. So for those of you who are new, this is a non-pressurized system. It came out of Macon, Missouri. Acme Furnace Company out of Macon, Missouri. I believe there's new owners there. I talked to them here maybe last year or the year before, and they're still making these models as well as other ones. So this here is a model 360. So this one would have 360 gallon water jacket that just is right around the top of that cylinder in there, the firebox. The fan is on the back. Some of the ones you see out there have the fan on the door. There's nothing on the door. So it is, the fan is on the back on a thermostat. And so when the temperature of the water gets up, it just drops that flap on the fan and shuts it off. That's all magnetized. And then there's two pumps in the back. One pump runs a loop that runs to the shop, and then the other one is a loop that runs to the house. So been a good machine. I'm not quite sure. This might be probably 8 or 9 years since I've had this. So so far, all I've had to go bad on it maybe is I've replaced the fan once, and I believe both pumps. So that was 2 years ago. So last year she gave me no fits. So we're hoping for a full year of no fits this year as well, but I'm not sure what this thing saves me by my house and my shop. Everything is electric. So besides the fact that electric heat sucks, this warm heat that's coming off of here, and my heat pump doesn't run, and yeah, it's really nice. Lower utility bills is always good. So if you didn't catch it before, the reason that I'm doing this before I turn everything on is I want that water temperature to be up there in that 150-ish or even hotter before I kick those fans on, or the pumps on. That way those fittings kind of, I don't know what they do, if they expand or contract. I think expand and then keeps it from leaking. When I start it up when it's cold, everything leaks and I feel like I have to replumb the whole damn thing, and by the time it warms up then they stop. So I just saved myself the anxiety of seeing everything drip all over everything. So probably like, man, you'd get a lot more heat staying in there and warm up that water if you didn't have the door open. Well, because I don't have the fan on in the back, I don't want to starve it. So we just let it do some burning there. I could probably use the bottom door down here to get some air to it, but hell, I got nothing but time. We'll try it. I'm curious if there's enough wind coming out of the northwest here blowing into that hole there that it's probably doing it's creating its own backwards draft, if you will. See, it's coming out of the chimney. I have been noticing last night when the northwest winter wind started blowing, heard some banging around out here and I couldn't figure it out, so I came out. The top end of that chimney is split off, so I'm going to need a new pipe to go up out of the top there. I think it just, I don't know, just old. All right, we're gonna let that burn a little bit, and then we'll start firing things up. See you in a bit. Kind of show you all this here. So here is where plumbing comes up out of the ground, and you can see red is hot. Red's hot. Blue's cold, so this is the water comes in here and returns through here. So see, it comes up here, and first it goes up into these two right here, and on the back side I have just a little call it little radiator in my office to keep that heated up. I'll show you that. And then those lines go up top. Won't take you up there. But as you can see, right up at the top there, glove off. Right up top here is where the intake is. And right on the bottom there, so let's, right on the bottom, right about there, is where the return is. So runs through that one. I really only use that one. It's an 18-inch water to air water to air exchanger. I also have a secondary one over here just in case I need to really heat it up in here or it gets brutally cold. But I would tell you, pulling off of this 18-incher right here, she will keep this shop at about 60 degrees most of the time and does a dang good job. So I just run the one. The only way that I regulate that, I have a fan. So this box fan right here, I just put it behind there, and then I just force air through there, and it pulls the heat off of the water, and the air coming out of there is nice and warm. What I do is, you know, on the weeks it's going to be fairly nice out, I just take that box fan and pull it back a little bit, and yeah, if it's really cold, I put it right up against there and make sure I get the most CFMs that are coming through there. So the power for my outdoor boiler comes from the house, but I did run some lines over here to this junction box. No, I lied to you. All the power runs over to the shop here, and I run everything through this box here. So wood burner right there, and it's either on or it's off. So The one other thing we have to do in here once we do it is this gets vapor locked or air locked, whatever. So we just have to pull those shark bites out right there and let some air out so everything can start circulating. So I'll show you the heat exchanger in the shop, just a little baby guy, and I just put a little baby fan. I don't think in the last 4 or 5 years have I even put the fan, turned the fan on back there, because it just stays warm enough just running that heat through there. So if you saw how much of a mess it was in here, then you would know why I don't spend much time in here. So it turns into one of those catch-alls. All right, time to check the fire. Getting pretty steamy in there. So I've already turned on the breaker switches in the shop. This thing does have a nice little switch. Nice little switch right here. So calling for the fan, so it kicks on. We'll see if I waited long enough for it to warm up. We'll get it to cycle and then we'll go check everything in the house. I can see a little drip already back here, but not overly worried about here. In the basement and in my shop of my office, that's a bad day. Shut that down. I can just see in with the pumps. Wait a minute. Yep, pumps are running. They're so quiet, it's like, oh shit, neither one of them are working. But I can tell by the return line and the outgoing line, that water is not warm enough. So a little bit too soon. Give it a little longer. All right, we'll go into the basement and kind of show you the program down there. Shot that guy in New Mexico with my bow, about a 450 pounder. Pretty awesome hunt. All right, here is where we come into the house. Hot in, cold out. You can see I just tied in a water fill valve too, so if she gets low on water, I steam some water out and go ahead and get that done. But doesn't look like any leaks. You can feel the water kind of coming through there. It's starting to warm up. It's not real warm yet. No leaks. And it runs over here. I used to run it through this heat exchanger, but I bypassed that at this point. Up to this heat exchanger, and I believe that is a 12 by 18 heat exchanger. I don't know how well you can see that. All I know is no leaks at this point, so that is good. This is typically where I don't have the leaks, so. But anyway, that is the program in the basement. Up in the house here, you will see we run 2 thermostats. The top thermostat just runs the fan. The bottom one's the real thermostat. This bottom one is only for emergency heat. We just use the fan on the forced air furnace to push air through that heat exchanger and pull off all of the water, or the heat off of the water. Pretty simple process. Forgot to shut the bottom trap here. We'll get that done. Still got a fire. Come check this over here. So here's what I think. I'm gonna just give that, I know right now that that's got a vapor lock in it, so no water's getting up there. The spots that it typically leaks when it's not real hot air is up on these heat exchangers, a little bit on that one, but mainly on that one over there. And I don't want to get it too wet because it'll just drip down through the ceiling. I've got a particle board ceiling, and she likes to bow and fall in if it gets wet. So I think I'm going to go to the pub for an hour or so, make sure that water gets nice and heated up. Then when I'll come back, I will get that vapor lock out of there and get water running through there. I don't think I'll put a fan on it at this point because we are can't read that, 59 degrees in here, and I don't need to be burning up a bunch of wood to try and get it to 65. So we'll just let water run through there tonight and until it gets really cold. And I think we're supposed to be down to low 20s here tomorrow night. So it's time to get that thing fired up and get a couple days under before it gets real cold, because if you have to fix something, the last thing you want to do is when it's miserable and cold and windy out. So, well, I'll try and bring it to you when I get back from the pub, me getting that vapor lock out of that top system there. But if not, because I had too many cocktails, you guys know the program. Like, subscribe, and share, and see you on the flip side.